What is up, kind ones? It is Horse, the king of the nutshot, and this is a live update. And the purpose of this update, because I've gone completely radio silent the last about 2 months, is to give everybody a full kind of rundown of where I'm at with my medical condition or my injury, my spinal CSF leak, which is a cerebral spinal fluid leak. Basically, at some point I bursted something in my spinal cord and I started leaking out spinal fluid, which is the kind of the brain fluid. It's a fluid in your head that keeps your brain in place. It travels from your head down through your spine in the dura and then back up to your head. And I was leaking out that spinal fluid through my spine and my lower thoracic spine, and it has for years now been causing all sorts of problems, headaches, upright headaches, pain in my neck, loss of hearing, exhaustion. Earlier this year, I actually found out what was wrong and went down to Duke University through the Spinal CSF Leak Foundation. Got hooked up with Duke University and actually found out that I had this CSF leak, and kind of started the recovery process of getting me back to normal, getting back to being healthy as a horse. And Christmas was supposed to be my initial goal for doing stunts and doing nut shots again and kind of getting back to the point where I was just being horse and kind of getting back to my life. And like a lot of these things go, it just didn't go that way. So I'm sitting here now, not recovered, at some days just as bad as I've ever been. And it was a lot emotionally for me to deal with and kind of unpack. And it was when I went radio silent, it was very difficult for me, and there's many times that I sat down here in this very spot to go live, and I couldn't talk myself into it. A lot of that had to do with like my symptoms and my exhaustion, but a lot of times I didn't even make it down here to try. But a lot of people have been asking me for updates and to go live for lots of different reasons, and I really want to talk about where I am and what I'm going through and what the kind of what the next step is and where I'm headed and where my head's at. Because if anything, anybody that's going through a similar situation, like exactly what I'm going through with a spinal CSF leak, or just a medical condition or a hard time in life, hopefully you can relate to me being in this situation and just kind of like see somebody else going through something and knowing that it's going to be okay and you're not alone, and that if you're going through something similar. So I'm getting people coming up on my chat right now. That'll stay up the whole time, and I'll be able to go through it and kind of answer questions at the end. I'm not going to try to read and answer questions like while I'm talking, because I don't want to get too distracted. But I will take a look at it before I end here. I'm going to probably talk, I'm going to try to keep it a little shorter, maybe, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll talk for like another 5 minutes with comments and stuff. So I guess I'll go back to the point I was trying. So my goal when I started this recovery process was to do a vlog basically Monday through Friday every week and do an update and kind of go through the process of rehab, or basically physical therapy, and just like what my limitations were with the recovery that I had. So basically I initially got this blood patch where they took my own blood and they shot it epidural style into my spine, into the area where my leak was, with medical glue. And the idea is it creates, I guess, like a blood clot, and your body kind of heals that area. And then I had to take it really easy, no lifting more than like a gallon of milk for the first couple weeks, and then after that, no more than like 10, 15 pounds, and then I could start doing running at a month, but like a kid couldn't lift for like 6 months, couldn't shoot basketball for like 3 months. Well, I didn't really get fully to that point um, before I started realizing that the first blood patch didn't work and I was still having symptoms. And I wasn't totally positive that I was absolutely leaking. The problem was I wasn't really high in the activity that I am typically used to. So before, I would go all out and I would do trampoline and I would do stunts and I would do stuff, and then I'd feel horrible, but I'd kind of have to push myself to get to that point. Sometimes I feel horrible no matter what, but really I'd have to, when I push my body, I would get to the point where I just had to lay down. There was nothing I could not stay on my feet without like intense pain. This time I was still having symptoms here and there, and sometimes kind of bad, but I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't lifting stuff. I wasn't running. I wasn't, it'd be me putting away dishes or me going to the gym and teaching classes and like kind of like pushing mats around with my knees. So I teach a parkour free running class a few nights a week, and I have about 100 kids and I teach these classes. So I'm walking around the gym, but I'm not really doing much besides that, and that ended up being too much, and I was still having symptoms. So I went down and I went down to Duke again, and sure enough, I was leaking again. And I stopped as soon as I really thought that it was time to go back down to Duke, and that my first patch didn't work. It actually like kind of like broke me, and that. For like almost like the second time, because I went through a really emotional period, which I think led to my condition and my leak getting worse about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago now, that I kind of let myself go and got in a really bad depression. And I think it made everything, I got myself to a point where I made everything worse. So when I kind of came to the realization that I wasn't going to be just good, like Christmas was no longer an option for coming back and doing stunts, that it was probably the recovery process was probably going to start over again, I didn't have the heart to come on and talk about it. And I apologize for that. Like I was sick of coming on and apologizing because I felt bad because I couldn't do stunts, and I felt bad because I got to a point where I couldn't even do videos. I just had to come in on live like this because it's really all that I could deal with, physically, mentally, emotionally, and I kind of just stopped updating. And I still try to respond to people that hit me up on Facebook and email and social media and stuff like that, especially people in the community of the CSF leaks. But I started realizing like the weight that it put on me, that it put on my wife and my family. I couldn't. I'm typically I clean up the house, I do all the laundry, and all of a sudden, like there's all these tasks. I'm doing outside work. I take care of the house. I've been a stay-at-home dad, and I run my classes and I do my horse stuff. And that's where my income comes in, but the rest, like I do all the stay-at-home stuff, and all of a sudden I couldn't. And here my wife's working like 60 hours a week. She's picking up extra hours. We're having to pay somebody to come clean the house because I can't do those things anymore. And it just got too much. And I was trying to take care of myself, and I was trying to do this vlog, and it was too much for me in a lot of different ways. And that broke my heart to get to that point. And I just really thought I was going to be back 100% right now. Like right now. So basically, I'll quicken it. It's like I went back down and got the second patch. And that happened the day before Thanksgiving. And I came back and I got from the medication, most likely I got a kidney stone. A kidney stone because it's one of the side effects of the high pressure medication that I was taking, which was horrible. Sent me back to the ER for the second time in my life. The only 2 times I've ever been in the ER, surprisingly, because of how insane I am, has been in the last year, in 2017. And after that, I felt pretty good. I didn't have any high pressure symptoms. I didn't have any bad kind of symptoms like I did the first time that I got this blood patch done. And I felt pretty good for a couple of days. And I got this cold, and then all my symptoms came back. And I spent about 2.5 weeks with this cold, and then the cold finally trailed off, and I just still. There's been a couple days that were some of the worst days that I've had this whole entire process of dealing with this leak. So I reached out to the doctor. I've been kind of talking to him back and forth, and the official announcement of where I'm at right now is that we are going to schedule open spine surgery. So when he gets back from the holiday break, I have to decide whether I'm going to go down to Duke or fly out to California to see, which two of these top surgeons in that field that I want to pick to try to fix me up. And then however long that takes to get that set up, I'm going to go out and they're going to open me up. They're going to find, they already found where my leak is, but they're going to go to where my leak is, and they're going to sew it or patch it or do whatever they do and close it up and seal it up for good, and then sew me back up, and then hopefully where this is more of like a risky operation compared to before, it should have a higher reward for a result of being able to actually get back to normal. So I think the initial recovery, instead of maybe being in bed for like a week and starting to come up and get up at hours at a time, I might be in bed for the first couple weeks or the first month. I don't really know. I know that it's longer than the patch that I had before, the 2 patches that I had before, but but then I don't know how long the recovery is after that. I don't know if it'll be like another 6 months or it'll be like 4 months. But the idea being that hopefully it's a little less hoping that it's going to work. It's like knowing that it's closed off. And then I can ease my way back into my normal life. And I think the really hard part about it is having this time where I haven't been able to do stunts. I really came to the conclusion that I want to be able to flip around again and do flips and stuff like that. And I'd love to be able to do stunts, but I care about my family, and I care about my kids, and I care about being active with them and my wife, and us growing our life. And I'm going to take it really easy, and hopefully everything just works out and I can get back to being exactly who I want to be. But what I kind of realized is I'm completely okay with coming back and being who I can be. So if that's not Crazy Horse anymore, then that is what I'm just that I've accepted that, and I'm looking forward to just whatever life brings me moving forward, which is took a long time to come to that conclusion. I actually said it to my wife like a month ago, and it really shocked her to hear it come out of my mouth. And I just said, it's just where I'm at, and I don't believe in giving up, and I don't believe in giving up on your dreams, and I don't think that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be realistic, and my dreams aren't limited to just doing stunts and being crazy and making a life out of that at all. My dreams are just to live my life to the fullest with my friends, and most importantly with my kids and my wife. And that's everything to me. So I'm going to continue to try to entertain. I'm going to continue to put my heart and soul into whatever I pursue, because I still really want to pursue at the same time as being horse, but also continuing teaching parkour and free running and being active in the ninja community, and passing on all the passion and knowledge and fun that I've kind of learned and been a part of since I was little, and really now as an adult and as like a job and a passion, continue that. but it feels really good to get that out, kind of publicly, and just say that I appreciate all the support and love from everybody. And if, you know, that really sucks because you don't want to see me stop doing that stuff, or I think a good bit of people actually like are begging me to stop doing this stuff, and they want to see me make this choice. I just like want everybody to know that I appreciate every comment and share, and the time that people have let me know that I've really helped them or entertained them and brought joy to their lives, has brought as much joy or more joy to my life. Let me just run through comments real quick. I definitely feel like a little emotional, so maybe I will like come back and do a Q&A or something, because I kind of just I want to maybe just wrap this up a little bit. Mark York, Mr. Penguin, Steve, straining from high school, Stefan, Ape TV. I see a lot of names in here. Ryan, Taylor Jean Fuller. I see a lot. Baby Wolf, my #1 fan. Spleen for Soul. Like I see Greg. I see a lot of people here that you know, have been around a long time, and yeah, I think I'm gonna finish that up for tonight. If you guys, because I see just a lot of like Merry Christmas and hi, and you know, hope surgery goes well. If you guys have any questions, especially, no, not especially, but like if you have any questions about CSF leaks and you think you're going through something like that, check out this spinalcsfleak.org, or message me on Facebook on my horse fan page. It's probably the easiest way to get a hold, and then I might give you my email to even communicate faster. But if you have a comment, or you want an answer to something, or you just want to say something, leave it in the comments below. You know, as usual, like give me a like, give me a share if you want, and you guys are awesome. Enjoy. I hope you have been enjoying the holiday and enjoy New Year's, and really get out there and kick ass in 2018, because that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to at the very least get nasty in surgery and get back to being healthy as a horse, whatever and however that ends up. So I appreciate you guys. You stay nasty, and I will talk to you soon. All right. Peace.